Doctors Ward Cates and Henry Gablenick, thanks so much for joining us. You're here to discuss the CAPRISA microbicide trial. So top lines, what are the big findings of this study?
Jill, these are truly exciting times in Vienna. This is a game changer for women because we found that a topical gel using an antiretroviral agent, tenofovir, provides about 40% protection for women to protect themselves from HIV. And when used and better adherence, it's over 50%. So these are very exciting times.
Tell us what the difference is between this trial and prior microbicide trials that had no success.
Well, this is the first trial to have looked at an antiretroviral agent as the microbicide. The others had other mechanisms and unfortunately were disappointing in their results. But this now is a game changer because it allows the field of examining different antiretrovirals in the form of gels to be tested.
Now, you worked as a part of a very large team, the two of you and a greater team. Talk about the collaboration with all the moving parts.
Well, the group I'm with, FHI and CONRAD, are thrilled to have worked with a brilliant team of South African investigators out of the Durban CAPRISA project, which were the leaders, but also throughout South Africa, including a Joburg team and a Cape Town team. And this was the best of the way we see the Global Health Initiative going forward, where you have in-country ownership of the research and then calling on the scientific and technical assistance of their American partners.
So, Henry, can you talk about CONRAD's role in all of this? You provided tenofovir.
We did. Actually, Gilead Sciences provided the active, and we made the gel. And CONRAD has been very much involved in microbicide development, not only just the production, for many years now, and we were really happy to be able to participate in this study. And we're now partnering with the Technology Innovation Agency of the South African government to make the drug available ultimately in South Africa. And we look forward to moving it along. There are additional studies that will be necessary, but we're very excited about it. In addition, with respect to the aspect of the antiretrovirals, we probably will want to increase the efficiency by making it a multi-component product, just as many of the other antiretrovirals are for treatment.
So can you talk about the issue of resistance to antiretrovirals? Because this is, as you explained, a microbicide that actually uses a drug. Are there risks of resistance?
Well, this is a factor that was looked into. One of the things about tenofovir is it has a high level of resistance, if you will. One doesn't see much resistance with it. But in addition to that, in the study itself, there were no signs of resistance. And as I mentioned, in the combination products, we'll be adding other antiretrovirals, which will further reduce whatever chance there might be that there'd be resistance.
Obviously, this is very early. This is a proof of concept study. But how do you see this playing out in terms of further tests and manufacturing and getting drug approval and approval in different countries?
Well, we're planning to approach the FDA for seeing what the U.S. will require. And our South African partners will be approaching the MCC in South Africa to see what will be required there. I think once approval is reached in those places, then getting registered in other countries should follow fairly naturally. The question of what additional studies will be required has still to be worked out. But as scientists, one isn't comfortable with just a single result. And so we also know that there's a study going on called VOICE that's being run by the Microbicide Trials Network that's looking at daily use, and these data might be helpful in showing the effectiveness as well.
Jill, let me just add that in addition to using a combination of drugs, also we're looking at different delivery systems. Would it be better, for example, in the form of a ring? And together with CONRAD and other groups, we're looking into those as delivery mechanisms.
And just a couple more questions for you. You mentioned earlier that this is a game changer. Do you have any anecdotes or reactions from the women who actually participated in the study when they found out the results?
Well, the women were truly thrilled, much more thrilled, to have something that they can use to protect themselves, really, than the scientists, obviously. One thing we found in the study is that women were actually enjoyed the use of the gel, and at the end of the study tended to be reluctant to give up the product when we were calling it back. So this is a very good sign that this particular product will be acceptable to women and that they will be using it correctly and consistently.
And my belief is that the better usage pattern, the better the effectiveness will be. I think that the true efficacy is I don't know how much higher, but quite a bit higher than what was observed, because women don't use it all the time. Even the women who used it a good deal of the time didn't use it 100% of the time.
And last question. This study obviously involved women, but looking to the future, are there applications potentially for men who have sex with men?
Yes, in fact, we're reformulating the product in order to make it a little bit more user-friendly for anal sex. It's perfectly fine and safe in vaginal sex, but we think that if we change some of the components, it will make it even more tolerable for rectal use.
Drs. Gablenick and Cates, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Jill.